and welcome to the first episode of Summer Science. So yes, that is what this series is going to be called. So, for this episode we're doing experiments revolving around space. And you may be wondering, well, why? And before you put that in the comments, I'll tell you. As I'm recording this, it is 7 days from the anniversary of the Apollo 11 launch. So, without further ado, let's do this. So, as you can see from that time lapse, and if you look over here, we have drawn the sun and the earth. And our first experiment is phases of the moon. Now you might think, how are you even going to demonstrate this? Well, I'll tell you how. With Oreos. So yes, we're back. And take a look at what we've done. Oreo, 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 Oreo. But it demonstrates phases of the moon. So let's take a look, shall we? So this right here, as you can see, is the new moon. And with the new moon, it is just completely bathed in darkness. And waxing crescent, tiny bit of light. First quarter. I don't know why they call it quarter because it's half illuminated. Maybe it's the quarter of the phases. That's probably it. Then we have the waxing gibbous, which is almost a full moon. And if you add the waxing gibbous and the waxing crescent together, you get the full moon. This is where we see literally everything on the moon's surface. So, yeah. But then, after like 2 days, it goes to the waning gibbous. This is when the little crescent of light kind of comes off and goes back to the gibbous. And then we have the third quarter. And I have to admit, we accidentally broke the Oreo, but it doesn't matter.
They never would have known.
I just had to put it out there. And now we have the waning crescent, which is the last bit of light, and then it just goes back to the new moon, and then it just keeps going. So I hope that helped to explain what the phases of the moon were to those of my subscribers who didn't actually know. But the best part about the experiment is not the science, it's that you get to eat the leftovers. So yes, just as we were about to do an experiment, Austin walked in.
Austin, you want to say hello?
Hello. 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 Apologies for him. Hello. For some of you who think he's really strange because he keeps on saying hello, but he's autistic, okay? Hello. Hello. He's fine. Hello. Hello. So that was experiment number 1. And yes, Austin was introduced. And I'll be making a video about him and autism in, I'm hoping, a couple of weeks. I mean, from when I'm recording this video anyway. But enough of that. Now we're moving on to the next experiment. Constellations. Let's do this. And time lapse! as you've seen by the time lapse, we have punched holes. Well, not punched holes, but like
Poked holes.
yeah, poked holes in the black paper for stars of constellations, and we have done the white for where the stars connect. Now we've put the name below them in gold, and we are going to wait until it gets darker for this to actually work. But I'll just insert a clip of what it looks like now. So hopefully that is what it's going to look like. But for now, I'll just leave you with some fun facts and then on to the final experiment. Let's go! So, fun fact number 1. You may think that Orion's belt is just all stars, but science would prove you wrong on that point. Because if you look closely at Orion's belt, the star right there isn't actually a star. It's a nebula. Fun fact number 2. There are 88 total constellations. But we only picked 12. Oh. But it'll still look good. At least. So, those were the fun facts. And now we're moving on to the final experiment. And this is why the moon has craters. So, if you want to copy this experiment, all you need is a bowl, some flour, and pebbles. Although, we don't have any pebbles, so
We'll find something.
So, here it is. Why the moon has craters. So obviously, you know the moon. It has craters like this all over its surface. And if you look here, this is also the moon. Now you may be wondering, why does it not have craters? How is it the moon? Well, 2.5 billion years ago, the moon didn't have craters. But then meteors started hitting. And that's because meteors were... No, war. Why did I say war? Were. There, that's the right word. Meteors were drawn to Earth, but because they passed by the moon first, they crashed into the moon. They crashed into the moon, not us. And now we're going to simulate that. So here is our moon surface. And each pebble here represents a meteor. So let's go. Impact 1. As you can see, the force of the pebble landing has pushed the flower, which is actually the moon surface, has pushed it away, and its mass is obviously occupying that free space, which creates crater. And that is what the crater looks like when the meteor, which is right there, has been taken out. Right. Impact number 2. As you can see, the same thing has happened, although since it's a different shape, it's created a different shaped hole. And that's the end of our experimenting. So I hope that's helped to explain how the moon turned from this to this. And also, that's the end of the first episode of the series. So I hope you've enjoyed, and we've got some more experiments lined up for you, but you might see me in a different location. But find out if all of that is true on the next episode of Summer Science. I hope you've enjoyed experimenting, and catch you later. These aren't the droids you're looking for, although this is the subscribe button you're looking for. Go on, click it. I know you want to.